This one's a banger.
All right.
I can't remember how it came about. Oh, I was watching old Headbangers Balls on YouTube. I was watching Headbangers Balls.
Yeah.
Headbangers Sweaty Balls. And they played the song Mother. And I remembered that the song Mother, it was originally released as a single, and it kind of like didn't do that well. And then they re-released it a couple years later, and it like became a buzz clip on MTV. And so I thought, that'd be a cool thing to kind of like look into. And boy, it's like even cooler than I thought. So Mother by Danzig, this slick Rubin produced song was always primed to be a top 40 hit, but it took 6 years for it to finally claim its glory. Danzig originally released Mother as the lead single for 1988's Danzig, but immediately faced the blowback of people claiming they were Satanists. Its MTV banned video, which featured a chicken being sacrificed on a cross, didn't help. Lyrically, the song was a direct response. So this is the part that I did not know. Lyrically, the song was a direct response to Tipper Gore and the PMRC's crackdown on explicit music content, making for a delicious, devilish invite to the dark side. Thankfully, it would get a second life after the lightly remixed Mother 93 blew up. So just to reiterate that, the first version of Mother came out on Danzig's 1988 album. I'm pretty sure it's the self-titled Danzig record. Yeah. And then it was re-released on Thrall Demon Sweat Live in 93. And it was a live video, but I didn't realize it wasn't actually a live performance. They just took the original song and put like a crowd noise underneath it and released the video as a live video.
Gotcha.
So, thematically, the song is a rhetorical challenge to parents, primarily inspired by Tipper Gore, who, along with the Parents Music Resource Center, introduced the parental advisory warning placed on albums containing explicit content. Glenn Danzig explained further, Al Gore wanted to tell people what they could listen to and what they couldn't. It was basically coming down to the idea that he wouldn't let anybody record any music that he didn't think you should be doing. There was going to be an organization that would tell you what you could and couldn't record. And certainly, if you couldn't record it, you couldn't put it out. It was really fascist based.
Nice.
So the music video begins with the question, "Then I saw there was a way to hell, even from the gates of heaven," taken from The Pilgrim's Progress by John Bunyan. The original 1988 music video was rejected by MTV for its ending sequence, which contains imagery of a chicken being sacrificed and an inverted cross being drawn in its blood. Although Glenn Danzig noted that no chickens were actually killed nor harmed. He's a big animal guy.
Yeah.
The Mother 93 video used concert footage taken from the band's Halloween 1992 performance at Irvine Meadows Amphitheater in California, with additional footage shot in the UK. Going down the wormhole, I found this article from 2013. This is from August 16th of, and this was actually in like I had to go in the Wayback Machine to get this too. It was linked in Wikipedia, but it's not online anymore. It was like in the Wayback Machine.
Yeah.
It was from like City Pages or something, but listen to what Glenn says in this interview. You mentioned that Mother was about the PMRC. Were they a problem for you specifically? Yeah, Al Gore wanted to tell people what they could listen to and what they couldn't, what they could record. It was basically coming down to the idea that he wouldn't let anybody recording music he didn't think you should be doing. There was going to be an organization that would tell you what you could and couldn't record. And certainly if you couldn't record it, you couldn't put it out. It was really fascist. My view on Democrats is that they're fascists disguised as liberals or liberal moderates. You're not allowed to say anything that they don't agree with. You're not allowed to do anything. Also, the whole Obama, I can kill anybody with a drone and with no trial is kind of disturbing. I'm surprised that more people who are supposedly liberal aren't more disturbed by it. I think whatever Obama does is okay with him because he's Obama. It's bullshit. So back in this time when conservatives were saying stuff like this, I didn't get it. And I was like, you're a racist or what? And a lot of people were, and they're like, oh, you just don't like him because he's black. Which is what they use to dismiss everything now. It's like, oh, you're just a racist if you don't agree with this thing. It's the same thing with the PMRC telling you bands can go on trial for their music. What's next? Wagner is going to get arrested? What? He's dead. So why did the album come out with a parental advisory sticker but without any F words? That's because of its content. We're making people think. You're not allowed to make people think in the United States. You're not allowed to have them question the government or authority. Fucking based.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
From what I understand, so the interviewer is like kind of playing the devil's advocate here. From what I understand, stickering albums is voluntary for record labels. Do you remember discussing the sticker with Rick Rubin? Well, actually, back then it wasn't voluntary. There was a group that would listen to it and sticker it. Now it's voluntary. Back then it was a group that would listen to your records and say, well, it needs parental advisory. It was kind of like the PMRC. In other words, they kind of gave the PMRC a little, even though they wouldn't do what the PMRC wanted, what they did agree to was that there would be a group that would listen to a record and give it a parental advisory. But really what they didn't realize was that by giving it that sticker, it meant that it was approved for every kid who hates everything to buy it. So a Danzig and a Slayer record had the sticker. They were like, oh, it's got to be good because it has the sticker on it. You're not going to see that sticker on a fucking Bon Jovi record.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Whoa!
Living on a prayer. Yeah, so I thought that was just very,
Glenn Danzig is based as shit.
Yeah, and the thing that's interesting about this to me, or that was interesting about it to me, is that I just thought, it'd be interesting to talk about how, this song was released twice. I didn't know the political, backdrop or the reasoning behind why it was released twice, or that, Glenn Danzig had such salient opinions. He was like way ahead of his time, if we're being honest.